Hello, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing so well. Hello, Discover friends and family. It is wonderful to have you all here. If you wouldn't mind, if you could just drop us a little note in the comments to let us know that you can see us, that you can hear us. We want to make sure that our AV and tech is in tip-top shape before we turn it over to Amy, who is very generously offering her time and knowledge and wisdom on Pinterest secrets every business owner needs to know. We are going to, all right, thank you so much. Dr. Lynn looks great. Healthy Lifestyle Learning Academy. All right, perfect. Glad that you all are hearing and seeing okay. My name is Ashley on the Discover team here, and I'm so excited to get to learn from Amy. I have been peripherally fascinated by Pinterest since the onset. And it sounds to me, from what I understand, Amy, you have been in the Pinterest game since the beginning. Is that right?
Yes, I had to look and see when it started. It was 2010.
2010. And now, I mean, it's funny because, what an innovative and unique platform it was when it first came out. I mean, so kind of obvious now, right? It's something that we just take for granted. My husband uses Pinterest for, home improvement project ideas, and it just is such a part of the everyday, lifestyle, everything. And you've gotten to see and help develop that along the way. How did you while we're getting started here, how did you get into the Pinterest game?
Well, it was, the newest social platform, and you had to have an invitation back in the day. So I didn't really know what it was, but I didn't want to be left out. So I was like, send me an invite. And so I got in, and then I saw that people were pinning, which I didn't know what that was, my photos from my website onto this other website. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? And I did not like it at all. And so I started being the advocate for bloggers. I was like, what is this thing? Photos. And I started
this is my content.
We can't fight it. I don't know what this is. It's becoming huge. So I just started writing, instructions on how to protect yourself, how to, put your watermark on your photos and all these things. And I'll tell a story about how Pinterest got in touch with me through all of that.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm excited
I've been there from the beginning, and I was not a fan in the beginning at all. So I think if I'd have been a fan in the beginning, it would have grown a lot faster. So
okay. Well, but maybe the not a fan element is part of what piqued Pinterest's.
No, I just gave in. Yeah, I think they found me through all of that. Maybe, I don't know, but whatever I was putting on Pinterest was really successful, and I think that's how they found me. But
that's great.
Yeah. I wasn't one of those people that just had millions of followers right off the bat. And there were people, it was just nuts. And I never had that. So that's why I was like, oh, I should have got on there before.
Well, but honestly, part of the reason that we're excited to hear from you today is that I think, I don't want to assume. So audience, those of you who are here, it seems like we've got health coaches, we've got folks who are in the lifestyle and wellness industry, the education industry, folks from kind of all walks of life, in looks like all parts of the country. Where else is everybody tuning in from? We've got Philly, San Diego. Would also love to hear from you all what is your Pinterest journey? What is your area of focus? Do you have specific goals for tuning in to hear and learn from Amy today? Because I don't,
psychic medium in here. Love it.
Oh, yes. All right, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. I just figured out how to find the comments, so now I can see you guys. Hi, everybody. I'm in Dallas, so it's good to see where you guys are from.
Excellent.
It's nice and hot here.
And I am in San Francisco. It looks like we have Canada too, Indiana, Oregon, Raleigh, North Carolina, London. Fantastic. Okay, so we have a diverse crew.
I see some of my friends in here, some of my students. Hi guys, thanks for showing up.
Amazing. Okay, so speaking of students, Amy is, well, background in graphic design. You've been doing graphic design for a couple decades,
yeah,
right?
I'm old. Yeah, I got my degree in graphic design and started a business pretty much, in my early 20s and have been going ever since. So
you are experienced and have collected wisdom. That is,
I've got a lot of that.
And has been using as using her her perspective as one of the first Pinterest users and somebody who didn't start out with the millions of followers, but who
I still don't have it. I still don't have millions.
But who's managed to successfully build, despite that, right? I think there's a lot of I don't know, a lot of misleading information out there or assumptions out there about what it means to find success in social media on different platforms. So I'm really excited to hear from the perspective of somebody who's not like, pops up with all these followers, but who knows some strategies and skills to help grow your ability to build a business using Pinterest. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Amy. But just before I do that, it looks like folks are commenting here about top tips for growing business. Would love to learn more about SEO and keyword optimization. We've got folks who are just starting. Karen's just starting out a new e-course, how to start an Airbnb, beginner's guide to successful hosting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, some cool topics. Cool topics in here. Some folks who use it rather passively, but interested to learn more. So it's a good mix of folks. And I think just from what I know of your presentation and your course, which is pinned to the comments at the very top of the YouTube stream for our audience, you cover a lot of that ground.
Oh yeah. Yeah. One thing about, if you do want to take my course, which if you stick to the end, we've got a little surprise for you. So that's good. And it's for anybody. It's for beginners because I also give you a mini course on how to get started on Pinterest. So if you're a beginner, you'll learn that. And if you are more advanced, you can just skip all that and go to the meat of the course. Yeah.
So you'll have access. You'll have access to all of that content. And I just dropped the link in the chat for those who want to check it out now. If you're not quite sure, stay tuned because Amy has some great sneak peeks at what the course teaches and, a perfect level of accessibility no matter where you are in your process. So you've got access to the deeper level knowledge stuff for those of you who have done this a little bit and access to the intro level stuff for those of you who are just getting started. So let's, Amy, I will kick it over to you and pull up your presentation here so we can get started.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. Isn't Ashley awesome? She's so cute.
Thank you. And for audience, just so you know, I will be monitoring the comments. So if you have questions that you want to ask Amy, keep those coming. I will keep track of them. I'll ask some as she's presenting and we'll save some time at the end for Q&A as well. So Amy, over to you.
Okay, yay. Hey guys, I am so excited to be here with Teachable. When they contact me, I was like, what? This is exciting. So I've only been on Teachable for a year, and I love it. And this is my jam. So I want to get started and we're going to talk about Pinterest secrets that every business owner needs to know. And first of all, I just want to tell you a little bit about me. Number one, I'm the crazy cat lady and a mom of 2 teens, and I've got my husband, of course, but I love dogs. So all of you that are not cat people, my son is allergic to dogs. So I had to do something else, and cats. So this is so funny. So I wanted to put my picture of my cats on here, and the little one is our pandemic baby. And he is super famous. More people care about him on my Instagram over on Living Locurto than they do about me. So he's really funny. And so I just thought that'd be a fun little icebreaker to get to know me a little bit. Like Ashley said, I've been a professional graphic designer for over 25 years, and I had a design firm for many years. And I was home with my 2 little kids and working. I worked for, my clients were Fortune 500 companies. So I've done a lot. I started my career with Fossil. I was the watch company. I was one of the very first art directors there, and I did packaging and I made products. And so I've been in this art world for years and years and years. And then I was home with my kids and I just started a blog just to kind of tell people or show my family what I was doing at home with my kids just for fun. And I named it Living Locurto after I was really obsessed with Ricky Martin at the time. And I was always walking around singing Living La Vida Locurto, come on. And that became my blog name, which is stupid, but who can say it? It's like, who can even say Locurto or let alone find it? That was not the best name that I came up with, but I'm home with 2 kids frazzled with 50 clients at the time going nuts. So anyway, I started sharing things that I was doing at home with my kids, like parties and cute cakes and cupcakes and recipes and just cute food. I would turn like a vegetable tray into something awesome. And anyway, things started going crazy on the internet. So Living Locurto was born. And then Pinterest came out a couple of years later. And like I said earlier, I was one of the very first people on there when you had to have an invitation and everything. And so I started on Pinterest back in the day. And that was when it was pretty amazing. Like you could just be on there and you could get tons of traffic. And we were like, what is going on? So I became one of the very first people that ever used Pinterest. And over the years, and I will get to that later, but over the years, I just got asked question after question after question. And I'm like, maybe I could teach about what I'm doing. I've done this. I've been a blogger for 12 years. I have done everything. I think I have a lot to offer. So I started Amy's Circle, which is hosted on Teachable, and it's courses all about Pinterest. And then since I've been a graphic designer for so long, this is what I do for companies. So I started creating templates in Canva that you can use for totally free on Canva. You use my templates and just drag and drop your information because I have been on Pinterest for 10 years. I know it works. I can also design for any big brand out there. And I work with a lot of big brands. So I know commercial advertising. Okay. So I kind of put all of those things into Amy's Circle, and I've got templates now. I've even moved on to Facebook. Like I'm moving on to different templates for different platforms. But anyway, that's what Amy's Circle is. And now I'm like a Pinterest strategist, which is really fun. And now I have a lot of, I have a mastermind community and a great, great group of people that I help teach about Pinterest. So that's a little bit about me. And oh, something happened there. All my pictures are gone. Okay. Well, this was a really cool slide of me with all of my.
I actually saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. There. Well,
oh no. This is so weird. I don't know why my pictures aren't showing up in my slide. Anyway.
Yeah, I caught a flash of it, I thought.
Well. Oh well. Okay.
Well, imagine.
It's so strange. Picture this being a slide. I'll go back. So what happened was Pinterest. I used to not really like Pinterest, and I would write articles about just for other DIY lifestyle bloggers or food bloggers, whoever was on Pinterest. Just, we have to learn how to protect ourselves, protect our photos, and we can utilize it. So then Pinterest calls me up. And they're like, hey, Amy, do you want to meet for lunch? And I'm thinking, yeah, it's Pinterest. Who gets that call, So I thought it was going to be me and about 50 other influencers. And I show up to lunch and it's just one person from Pinterest. And I'm like, where's everybody else at? And she's like, it's just you. And I go, well, I'm sorry. I like you guys now. I'm sorry I wrote all those articles. And they're like, no. We just love your content and we love what you're doing on Pinterest and we want you to help us. And they were doing a Pinterest ambassadors. So they said, can you help us form this new thing we're going to do with Pinterest ambassadors? I'm like, yeah, sign me up. So I helped them form that new thing. And so I had really cool photos of me at Pinterest and me with the founders of Pinterest, but they didn't show up in my slide. Sorry, but they're really cool. Just imagine me at Pinterest doing all kinds of cool things. And then I would host events. And then the very first employee of Pinterest, and she's amazing, she just couldn't keep up with the demand because people were asking her to travel around and go to all these conferences. So she's like, hey, Amy, can you just do this for me? And we'll send you somewhere and you can speak on my behalf. And I was like, yeah, I did that. So I was kind of the little brand ambassador for Pinterest. And I went around and spoke at everything from VidCon to small little, retreats that people were having. That's what I did. And so I was very immersed in the Pinterest culture in many years ago. I think this is like 6 years ago. So I've been doing this for a long time. And then I was like, okay, maybe I can teach this. So I started Amy's Circle, and I just know right now a lot of people are down on Pinterest just because it's a bad time. Just for people are vacationing. It's summer. It's okay. It's going to kick back up. But I wanted to tell you guys what Pinterest has done for me. And number one, it's helped me make $1 million, over $1 million. That's amazing. One social media platform that can do that. And then that's not included on my other social media platforms and my blog. That's just Pinterest. Okay. Woo! Okay. Don't you want to make $1 million? Okay. I grew
I'm listening. Go on.
I grew my business beyond anything I could ever imagine, and it helped me become the speaker I am today because they had faith in me that I could go and represent them at these big conferences. So I had to get up on the stage and do the things. And sometimes people didn't even show up, because they didn't know what Pinterest was. And I still would speak to like the 10 people that were in the audience, where Facebook would have a, standing room only group. And I was like, wah, wah. Hi, I'm a Pinterest girl. Come see me. This was years ago before anybody really knew what it was. So it helped me have confidence, become the speaker I am today. It introduced me to huge brands. Okay. I've worked with so many brands, but one of the big ones is Coca-Cola, and Pinterest. Actually, we work together and with some other influencers to help get Coca-Cola a better presence on Pinterest. So that was before they had sponsorship or ads and all the things. It's allowed me to spend more time with my family and given me time to travel the world. So I love Pinterest. And I was glad to see some of you guys in the comment section just talk about how much you love Pinterest. It's not just for inspiration. It's also for business. It is such a great place to promote what you are selling, to promote your services. You can be a brick and mortar. You can be a online digital marketer. You can be a course creator or a psychic medium, which I saw in here. Anything goes on Pinterest. And it's not just to find pretty things. It's a search engine. So, I'm really bummed out that my photos aren't showing up. I'm wondering what to do.
Just as a note, and I put this in the chat, but we'll have a replay of this session, but we also will send an email to folks that have your deck in the email. So you'll still be able to see Amy's photos, even if it's after.
Yeah, I'm going to order that. Try and I was just going to see if I could do something.
Little troubleshoot. If there's, if you want to,
it's just a review, so I'm good. It's just this one. I'm not sure what happened.
If you want to try sending it to me too, I can maybe give it a shot.
Sorry, no, it's just one photo. I just wanted to get check. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, let me share my screen again.
No problem. Yeah, that's part of the bread and butter, right?
I wanted to show you guys my stats of just where. Here, let me do the presentation.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
There we go.
That worked. Right?
There we go.
Woo, woo. Okay, can y'all see that?
You got it. I can see it.
There's my awesome photos. Okay. Okay, that's when I was a
Pinterest ambassador numero uno.
All right. Okay, so basically when I first started, I mean, nobody knew anything about Pinterest, but before I started Amy's Circle and teaching courses and teaching other people how to use this is what I started with. And you can see my impressions. Here's just a screenshot. This is everything just from my blog, livinglocurto.com. This is not all the other pins that I pin or other people's content, just my content. So I was, my audience was about 16 million a month. I was getting 30 million impressions a month. Insane, right? I thought that was a lot. So then I started working on, can I teach this, right? So I really sat down and thought about my strategy and a system that I could teach. So I tested it out. This is what I ended up with after testing my own system. This is a screenshot of 52 million impressions a month. I was reaching about 19 million people a month. Okay, this went up. This is just a little bit. This went up to about 60 million plus. So I'm like, okay, my confidence is here. I'm ready to teach.
This is after you're just saying, like after drinking your own Kool-Aid, after trying out your own system.
It's really, when you teach something, you want to make sure you're teaching something that really works. And I'm not just going to go out and tell you, do what I did, because that might not work for everybody. So I wanted to make sure what I was doing actually
had some tangible data that you could look at. Right. Yeah.
So I started the Amy Locurto's Pinterest Mastermind course. It's 6 weeks. It's just 6 classes. And then there's 6 videos of Q&A as well. It walks you through everything. And here is, we're going to have a great offer. If you stick with us, stay to the end and you'll see that. So anyway, not to toot my own horn, but I will, because I love this quote from Katie. Katie was one of my very first students, and she said, "This course is by far the best I've ever taken in any subject related to social media." Oh, I love Katie. She said it's the only course she'd recommend to someone who wants to learn to use Pinterest effectively. In a short amount of time, I've gained a huge visibility on Pinterest, which has brought me much more traffic and money. Oh my gosh. When I hear things like that, I'm like, I'm so glad I did this, because y'all, I had a graphic design firm, 2 kids, and a big blog. I even had another blog. Like, I was doing a lot. So for me to stop, and that's the thing, when you do get lessons from other people that are teaching things, you want to make sure that they're in the thick of it and they're actually doing what they're teaching. You want to know what they're doing, and you want to do what they do. So, we'll get started. Pinterest is basically a long game. So I can give you all these secrets. They are not going to work overnight. All right. And that's okay, because you've worked really hard to create a course or a coaching business. Maybe you've made products and you're just not really sure now how to market that. You've got an online shop or a landing page to sell products. You're a blogger, or you have a website. You've worked really hard to grow that email list, or maybe you want to get more people on your email list to sell to. You've done all that hard work. Or even if you haven't and you're working on it, Pinterest is going to help you. It's just, there's 40 million people on Pinterest. And I always kind of cringe when I hear people that they haven't even used Pinterest to market anything. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't understand. It is amazing. So I just wanted to tell you before we get started, it's a long game. And here is one of the great results that someone had from taking my Pinterest course. And this is Audrey. Audrey's been blogging for over 12 years too, just like me. Before she took my course, she had 6,000 page views from Pinterest. That was it. Like, she didn't really use it that much. Her Pinterest traffic went from 6,000 a month to 30,000 a month. And this was just after, I think, like 5 weeks. And her monthly viewers went from 1 million to 7 million. And I bet it's a lot higher now. This is like last year. She was able to get into Mediavine, which, if you don't know what that is, it's an ad network. So it's hard to get into. You have to have a lot of traffic, and then they manage your ads on your website. So you can be making income from ads on your site, which is a huge way that bloggers make their income. And that was a goal of hers. So she had never been able to get into any ad work over these 12 years until she took my course. And I'm just like, This is thrilling. It's thrilling. So if you're a blogger, I hope you will really look into taking my course, or even if you just want to grow whatever you're doing, it works for anybody. Okay. So what you're going to learn today are best kept secrets for why you need to be on Pinterest. I think a lot of people are confused, like, what is Pinterest? And I thought it was just for inspiration and pretty things. Now I'm going to show you. And it's a good secret. And then you're also going to learn how to get started if you've never tried Pinterest marketing. You're going to get simple steps for growing your traffic and sales through Pinterest. And you're going to learn what you need to be doing now to gain traction on Pinterest. And you'll get some easy tools to take care of your Pinterest marketing. Just take it to the next level. Ashley, you still with me? Just making sure. Hello?
Yes, I am here.
I couldn't hear you, so I wanted to make sure I was still on, because I can't see the screen. So if I go away, just
you are still good. I actually was asking the audience if anybody out here is hoping to make money from ads on their blog, if anyone else has experience with that.
And it's not really passive income because you're working hard on your content on your blog, but it is. You can make money in your sleep. And that's what we all love about the blogging world. And you can put ads on any website you have. You don't need to be a blogger, but you do have to, they require a certain amount of traffic, page views per month. And so Pinterest is a super easy way to get that and to get into that. And that's why I loved Audrey's story. Yeah. Okay, so now let's get into it. You guys ready? Are you excited? I want to see some things in the chat. Are you excited?
Yes, we've got some folks who are very eager to be to learn some of these secrets and start applying them.
I kind of put my best secret first, but there is a really good, another good.
Carry the lead,
Okay, it's hard. Okay, this is why you should be using Pinterest. Let's get started. Spoiler alert: there's not that much competition. And when I was going around speaking on Pinterest behalf, I cracked up because everybody's in that Facebook group. Like, I remember I was at VidCon. It was huge. There were thousands and thousands of people. And if you've never been to VidCon, it's crazy. It's in LA. And there was all of these people in the Facebook, and then maybe like 50 people in my room. And I told them that. I go, you guys are the smart ones because there's not that much competition. So I know all of you will succeed because all of those other people on Facebook, in the Facebook group, they're fighting for each other. They're fighting for that place in the feed. We don't have to fight for that. It's just there for the taking. And even though it's grown since through the years, and there's lots more users, and there's 400 million users, and there's a lot of people that are businesses, have a business account, it's still pretty easy. It's very simple because there's not a lot of people that are doing Pinterest marketing. Okay. And I wanted to tell a story of how it helped me during a hard time. This last fall, I was hospitalized because I was working myself to the bone and I gave myself a blood clot. So I had to go into the hospital, and it was during the busiest season of my business. But because of Pinterest, I didn't have to worry. My advertising and my marketing was taken care of all for free. Now, I don't pay for promoted pins. This is just things that I had worked on up until the point till I was hospitalized. So at that point, I could just smooth sail. And what I didn't realize is that people were just pinning my pins. I was getting more traffic to my website and my shop, and my sales were happening while I was out. And I was out. I was in the hospital. I was stressed out, but I didn't have to do a thing. I was making money anyway. It didn't matter. Thank you, Pinterest. So I think that, you might have to work a little harder in the beginning, but once you figure it out and you take my course and I teach you all the ways, you will be able to, don't worry if you have to go into the hospital because you have a blood clot. All's good now. I don't have it anymore and I'm fine. But that's just a great example of why I love it so much, because other social media platforms, they take work and you have to be on it every day, maybe hours a day. And with Pinterest, I seriously maybe do it an hour a week, sometimes not even that long. just because I figured out my system and I can do this in my sleep now. So here's one of my favorite secrets. All right. Using Pinterest can help you on Google. If you didn't realize this, it is like magic how Pinterest and Google work together. And I don't know how this works. And I will show you in the next slide, but there is some magic going on with those two. So if you are a smaller website or you've just started a shop and you don't have a lot of ranking on Google, Pinterest is your friend, and Pinterest gives everybody else a chance. And that's what I love about it, because Living Locurto has been around for a long time, but I don't have all of those #1 ranking things on Google like a lot of my friends do. And, but because of Pinterest, I rank. Oh, it's awesome. So you will not see this on Instagram, TikTok, or anything. It is just Pinterest. So let me show you an example. And you probably seen this.
I was going to say this makes sense to me, because there have the number of times that I have Googled something, in a life, especially in the lifestyle category, and been fed back, linked to Pinterest.
Oh yeah,
it happens all the time. But I've never seen the same on Instagram or TikTok, and I hadn't put that together, but you're totally right. And that happens all the time.
Well, what happened, here's a great example. I'll show you this example in a second, but you can see right here, the first, it does happen with Facebook every now and then, but not often do you see Facebook beating Pinterest on Google. So Pinterest, the second one in this Google search, let's say I was looking for a black cat tattoo and ideas for that, or where can I get one? The second one here that says 250 black cat tattoo ideas, that's a board. That's a Pinterest board. But the next one, the third one on this search on Google is a pin. And I will show you the pin in a second, because I was like, this person here, I'll show you. So if you click on that, it is Jessica. Jessica has 14 followers, y'all. 14. You do not need a ton of followers on Pinterest to be indexed in Google.
As number 3 on the
she's number 3 on black cat tattoos.
Okay? That's so cool.
Now, if you have a tattoo parlor or something, you better start pinning black cat tattoos, because you can rank on Google. So this is amazing. And this girl, Jessica, with her 14 followers, let's say she had a shop or something. She could sell, let's say these are just like peel off tattoos or something. She could have a shoppable pin. This could be a link right to her shop, and she gets sales galore. Like it is all for just being on Pinterest and having 14 followers. It does not matter. There is some magic going on.
Yeah.
And I've discovered this whenever I was looking in my Google search console, and that is kind of where you can look at your website stats of what is going on over on Google for your website. So I was looking at that, and I was ranking for this really big keyword, but I'm like, but I'm not getting Google traffic to that post on my website. I'm confused. So I click, and it took me to Google, which was actually one of my pins. So then what people were doing was I was #1 in search for this awesome keyword. It was huge. I had no idea. So then I was #1. My pin was #1. So people would click on that. They would go over to Pinterest, and then I'd get Pinterest traffic. So I was never cluing in that it all came from Google, right? So if you have a blog or a website and you track your Google and your Pinterest, a lot of your Pinterest traffic is actually Google traffic. You just don't know it. So this is a huge secret. And this is just something that everybody, don't tell anybody. This is nuts. Like, we're all gonna know this, right? And we're just gonna creep in there and use these, get these keywords and hopefully get ranked in Google. So that's one reason why that is one of the main secrets and one of the best reasons why you need to be on Pinterest. This Jessica is killing it with her black cat tattoo. Now I've seen all kinds of things. I just picked this one out because I thought it was fun.
That is such a cool pro tip secret. Yeah.
It's exciting. And I think just people don't realize it because they're not seeing the Google traffic. They're seeing it from Pinterest.
Right.
Yeah. So if you if you are on Pinterest, go and look and see, are you ranking on, something that you're getting a lot of traffic to or a lot of sales from? Go and kind of research. Maybe it's coming from Google. So
yeah, curious if any of the audience, some of you who are already kind of, you're entrepreneurs, you're already doing this. Have you noticed what Amy's talking about? Or been curious about the traffic you're getting and some of the, parsing out where it comes from? Feel free to type that into the chat just so we get a sense
I'd
of.
love to hear. And I don't know how long this will last. As of now, of this recording, it's still going on. It might end it might end soon. And so actually Pinterest they just redid their analytics and their metrics. And I think that kind of screwed up a lot of the rankings over on Google. And so, you might see some fluctuation because
the ever-changing algorithms,
ever-changing everything, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which brings me to my next secret is how to you need to set everything up correctly. All right. And the first thing you need to do is to get a business account. Why, you ask? Because it's required by Pinterest. If you do anything commercial, you sell products, you make money somehow by your pins, it is required to have a business account. And it's great because it's free. You just have to set it up and it's all on the Pinterest website. If you don't know how to do that, you can easily turn your personal account into a business account. You'll be able to see all kinds of analytics and metrics. You will get rich pins, which I'll show you what those are in just a minute if you don't know. And you'll be able to promote pins if you would like. I don't do that. I have no knowledge of that. So I'm just going to put that out there in case you guys ask questions about that. I don't do that. And I'm really no idea. And basically it just comes down to you are a pro and you want to become a power pinner. So get that business account. And I'm going to show you what a rich pin is for those of you that don't understand what that is. And it's optional. You do not have to do rich pins. It's a setting you can turn on and you don't have to get them if you don't want. So, but it's something that Pinterest loves. Like they like it because if you see, here's one of my pins and it just pulls the meta tag information from my website. So it pulls my ingredients for my recipes and the description in the meta tag information. So if let's say a user came to my website, one of my readers, and wanted to pin this pin, I don't have to worry about them typing in a description. It'll just automatically pull my description that I put in there. So they might say, recipe I want to make tomorrow. Well, that's not going to get me in any search. It's not going to get me in the search for Pinterest because those aren't keywords.
Right.
I want to fill my meta tag information, just like what you're doing for Google with information that people are searching for. So that's what I like about rich pins. And you can see the ingredients. I personally, as a user, like them more because if I'm dairy-free and gluten-free, I want to look. It will tell you. The rich pins will tell you this is a gluten-free, dairy-free recipe right there. So.
And this is something that you only have the ability to maintain with a business account.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So rich pin, and there's different types of rich pins. So for this one, it's a recipe rich pin. And if you don't do recipes, there's an article rich pin. So it won't, you won't have ingredients, but it's going to pull the information that's within your website. So It will pull the description for you. It's called an article pin. So you can choose which one you want to do. And all you have to do is add a simple piece of code into your website. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute for Teachable. Okay. This is a great secret. You need to verify your website. Okay. This sounds easy, but it's a super, super big secret because, okay, like for me, I have my website, which is livinglocurto.com. And then I have my Teachable site, which is Amy's Circle, and it's hosted with Teachable, 2 different websites. So let's say I'm pinning things from Living Locurto. That's what's verified on my Living Locurto business account. So that tells Pinterest, this is the right thing that we need to be promoting. Okay. So they understand this is this person's website. It has been verified. It is a real website. It's not spam, blah, blah, blah. if I was to be pinning my Teachable things over to on the Living Locurto, it might not do so as well. So if you're seeing like bad mojo on other websites that you have, maybe it's because it's not verified. It's not the verified account. So it might not do as well as the verified one. So always verify your website that you are going to be using. So like you might want to have a whole nother business account that's for your Teachable site or your shop, whatever it is. So that will get more just in the search, in the feed and they will actually know this is a real site. It's not spam. So that is just one of the secrets that a lot of people don't know about is if they're just pinning all kinds of things from all their different websites, really the one that's verified is going to do the best. So you're going to get the most traffic and the most sales from the one that's verified. So really be smart about which one you're verifying.
Yeah, that's a good, that's not something that I'd ever thought about before. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I didn't do that for my
down your other things just because it's not your website.
Right,
so
right.
Always like what I like to do is I'll link over to Living Locurto, which will then go to Teachable. That's a great way to do it. Just it's kind of like that Google thing. Google goes to Pinterest and Pinterest comes to your website. You could do the same thing, if you didn't want to have two accounts.
So Amy, if I could just pop in for a second, Mimi is asking if you drive traffic to an Instagram page, is it possible that would count as a verified website, or does it have to be an independent site that you operate?
Yes, you can actually add, you can link up your Instagram, your YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah. So they will know, yes, this is you, as long as you have it all linked within your business site. I'm just saying a separate website. So social media, you definitely want to link that too, but you only are allowed to link one website, but you can add all your social media, which is nice. Yeah. So that'll work good. If you have a Teachable course or anything, this is how you put the code in Teachable. So once you set up your rich pins, it will give you a code and you just go to your site theme and click on code snippets. Here I've showed you, and go to the head code snippets and just copy and paste that code right there and hit save and go back to Pinterest, and it will be like, give you a little check mark and say, yay, you verified. It's so easy. And you can do the same on your website. You go into your heading, and you can add the code there. So screenshot this or save this so you'll know.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I'll put that in here too in the chat.
Okay, yeah. So it's very easy. If you've got several other Pinterest accounts, like you have one that's personal, one that's business, maybe turn that personal one into another business. That's what I just did. I was like, why didn't I do that before? It's hard to, now you can talk to two or three different Pinterest accounts. So it makes it so much easier to have more than one if you do that.
That's somebody, Karen's asking if you would suggest a separate board for your Teachable. Is that something that you have a recommendation on?
Yeah, I mean, definitely I would have a board. But you also need to know whatever you're pinning into that board still needs to be probably the verified site that you are.
Right.
So, I just think it would do better if whatever you are promoting is the actual verified website.
Gotcha.
So it just does better. It does better in the algorithm. Lets Pinterest know this is the correct website. Why do they keep pinning this thing? This isn't what is this site? It might not do as well. So yeah, I would definitely, you can do, I love boards, and we could get into that later. I don't really talk much about boards, but I do in my course.
In the course, yeah.
Day on that because there's just so much. Okay, the next secret is to use it, and this seems pretty obvious, but I will tell you why I think it's so good to use it. Use it as your own search tool. You could set up a few personal boards. I have several personal boards. I have one like all about swimming pools, just because I like to dream. And when I'm on there working, I see, oh, that's a really pretty pool. I'm going to add that to my pool board or whatever.
Pool board.
Yeah. But I'm using it like a real user. And doing this will help you to see what new features are available. If you're just using it for business and you're not using it like a real user, you won't know about a lot of things and you won't really understand how it works. So you'll get a boost in results just by being active too. Pinterest loves that. If they see you, even if you're pinning something that isn't really anything to do with your business, like swimming pools, it's okay because you're just being active and it's telling the algorithm, ooh, this user is
a
also
super user.
They're a business person, they're a creator, and they're using it. And it's a win-win for everybody. So I always tell people, just use it. You're going to see all the new features that come out and you're going to be like, oh, and jump on that. And I think the first people to do things on, anything, any social media platform that's new will get the, early bird catches the worm, right?
Yes, indeed. That is good. I like that.
And a lot of people are worried about what happens is when I start pinning swimming pools, I will start seeing more swimming pools in my feed. And that's not really, I'm like, crap, I wasn't on here to do pool stuff, but I just happened to do that. So you can tune your home feed and you can tell it exactly what topics you want to see. So go to pinterest.com/edit and you can go over to your little icon on the top right and go to tune your home feed. And here it will give you a history and all your boards and your topics. So if you're seeing things that, like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm seeing all these like people that don't look like me, or I don't even want to see this.
Or I already got my black cat tattoo.
Exactly. This is where you go to change that. And it will give you topics that you're probably already looking at. Like here it says long hair because I was looking for a hairstyle.
Haircuts. Yeah.
So I would just remove that, remove that. I'm not into, I don't need to see people's beautiful long hair anymore because I've got my haircut that I wanted. I mean, you can see all the things that I search. I'm like Disney, crafts, recipes, food and drink, because that's what I want to see. And I like to see what other people are doing, and I also pin those things as well, just for personal. So this is a great way that you can fix that and see the topics.
This is huge.
And I would go in and do this every now and then because it doesn't allow you to add topics. It only allows you to remove them. So,
it's so fun. I was just thinking about this, and Mimi, I think this answers your question about what, keeping personal boards private and, or addresses it a little bit, because if you want, I was thinking about this in terms of Spotify, like, oh, I wish that I could remove that one song that I listened to that one time from my algorithm. So it stops feeding me this thing. And it turns out you have a little bit of autonomy over curating what you're looking at.
And Pinterest does really well with all of these things and they help us. The thing they don't do is tell us about these things.
Right.
They're great about, oh, we have all of these features, but they are not great at telling everybody about them. So that is another thing I talk about in my course is just, this has been here forever. You just probably didn't know about it.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I wish they would be better at promoting. So I just do it for them.
Well, thanks for the tip. I like
that's a good tip. So check that every now and then and just remove the things you don't want to see. And another secret is to make content for Pinterest. And I will explain what I'm talking about here. All right. You need to make content that Pinterest users want. I will just tell you right now, you're not going to be successful if you just pin willy-nilly things and you don't have a strategy. You might do well, like something might take off and go viral. It's going to be probably an accident, or it got featured on Google and then it's going crazy on Pinterest. But that doesn't happen that often without a strategy. So you could be marketing your content. It does super well over on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or YouTube, wherever you are. But that doesn't mean it's going to work on Pinterest. Pinterest people like a certain thing. They are looking for specific things. And sometimes it does overlap with Google. And that is why I love Pinterest, is because there's that magic connection between Google and Pinterest, right? But there's not that magic connection with Pinterest and Instagram, or Pinterest and Facebook, and Pinterest and TikTok, and Pinterest and YouTube. There's just not. They're not connected. So it's a different world. And when you're thinking like, well, what kind of content do I make? Or what, here's a strategy tip. Just like your business, your pins need to solve a problem. People are on Pinterest, not only for inspiration, but reality, it is a powerful search engine, and not just for pretty things and weddings. It's for anything, like a black cat tattoo, whatever. It can be for power tools. Like, what power tool do I use to make a deck? People actually search that kind of stuff on Pinterest. So think of it like, okay, I've got this course. Well, I'm solving someone's problem. Like maybe, whatever it is, they need to reach out to their loved one and they need a psychic medium. How do I do that? That's where you get on Pinterest and you explain people what your services are and how you can solve that problem. Okay. So here is,
It's very audience. I love that because it's my background. I used to work at TED. I've done speaker development, and we always talk about audience-centered communication, and what you're describing is exactly that, right? What may be most important to you about a particular pin might not be the thing that is actually solving an audience problem for your audience.
And there are people that will just be searching it for inspiration, and there might be a problem that they see, like something that they didn't even know they needed. And that's what's really cool about Pinterest. It's the same with all the social platforms, but there really is a trick, and I will get into that. You definitely don't want to waste your time. So think about asking yourself these questions. Why is your content not working on Pinterest? Like, did you just pin something willy-nilly and you didn't even think about it? You didn't put any thought into it. Are you solving the problems that people are searching for on Pinterest? And then what can you change or do differently? And this is where I will get into how to do that. It's very simple. And what's so crazy is Pinterest just gives us the information, but they might not be telling you how. So I'm going to tell you how. Trends.pinterest.com. Okay, Pinterest launched this, but it was kind of on the down low. It's very secretive. They don't really talk about it, but it's there. If you have a Pinterest business account, you should be able to see trends, or you can go here to this URL, trends.pinterest.com. This is incredible, valuable information. It is telling you the trends and what is going on right now on Pinterest. You don't need to worry about it. This will tell you. So definitely check that out. I'm just kind of going to go over and show you. Like for me, this is what I see. I'll see like food and drinks, and it tells me right here, rigatoni recipes, camping meals. There's another rigatoni. Rigatoni was really popular whenever I did the slide. You can tell it was around Memorial Day desserts, summer dinner recipes, dinner ideas, and then beauty. It just goes on and on through different categories. And it's usually the top categories that are, really popular on Pinterest, but that doesn't mean there are not other categories that are doing well. These are just going to be the top ones that you will see on the trends for Pinterest. And a lot of times it's the same trends. I have a daughter, teenager, she's on TikTok. So a lot of it is, I'm like, Draco Malfoy, here, I've got my Slytherin cup, is trending on Pinterest. And my daughter will be like, yeah, it's because of TikTok. Everybody's talking about him. They like him again. I'm like, what? So you won't see that on Google. It's only on Pinterest. It's so funny. And so I'm like,
are we pro Draco again? Okay, good to know.
And I was like, why is Draco Malfoy trending on Pinterest? She's like, oh, it's a TikTok thing. And I'm like, okay. So I have the inside scoop I have my own trend maker in my house, like my daughter. So I never really need to look at this because she just tells me what's cool, except when I do show up. And then I seem kind of cool because I'm like, oh, so everybody's into Draco Malfoy now. If you guys didn't know, he's a Harry Potter character. He's the bad guy.
And you're in.
Yeah, for some reason he was trending. It was funny.
Amy, I want to interrupt for just a moment and say to the audience, so since we have about 10 minutes left, and I'm curious to know if you all have questions that you'd like to make sure that we tackle during during this session. And it might be that, the answer is actually something that is in Amy's course already. But feel free to type in any lingering questions that you have so we can make sure that we cover those in the remaining few minutes here. Sorry about that, Amy. Go ahead.
Oh, no, thanks for telling me, because I could talk all day. So I need to speed it up. Okay. Here, if you haven't ever used Pinterest Trends, this is just a simple way. You can type in keywords and actually you can see the topics and when they start to peak, what the time of the year people are searching for it. And you can compare up to like 4 or 5 different topics. It's really cool. And so I just started typing in like summer recipes, and what happened was it will give you at the bottom the popular pins, and it will give you related trends. So then I started seeing pasta salad recipes. So I'm like, well, I'm going to type in pasta salad and see how that compares to just summer desserts. And pasta salad recipe, you can see, is the green line. Well, hello, I need to be making pasta salad recipes, right? Because it is higher than all the other things. So people at the time were searching for pasta salad recipes. So this tells you exactly what you need to be doing.
It's what your audience is hungriest for, no pun intended.
But whatever you're doing, go into Pinterest Trends and do a search, and you can find the topics that work for Pinterest. And it just makes it so simple. We do not have to work so hard. And that brings me to my next secret is you need to actually make people stop scrolling. So you need to make awesome fresh pins. And if you don't know what a fresh pin is, it's basically, Pinterest says that it's graphics, photos, and video that they have not seen before. So it's like fresh content. And it does not necessarily mean it has to be new content. You can make several different pin graphics that link to the same blog post or landing page or product listing or course page, whatever it is. But each of those would be fresh because they're going to look different. So when you save it for the first time, it's a fresh pin. Okay. So that's what we talk about with fresh pin.
That's a very common strategy in magazine publication, right? In online media publications, same thing. Yeah. Very cool. And glad we answered.
You don't want to be repinning the same image over and over and over because it's just not going to work. They want you to have fresh pins. And they have told us this for a year and a half. Stop repinning the same thing 100 million times. We don't like that. And they're going to push that down into the bottom of the search. So the fresh pins actually do really well. So if you stay to the end for the great offer, I will have some awesome things for you because I talk about this a lot in my course. We go into depth on how to make the best fresh pins and what that is. So if you're confused, just get the course. And I also have at amycircle.com, which is on Teachable, I have templates. So because I've been a graphic designer for so long and worked for, corporations, done commercial advertising, I've just got the system down and I just do them for you. And I have these templates. I have 103 Pinterest templates. I've got 47 Facebook templates for your Facebook page. And then I've got in my mastermind, I give you exclusive templates that nobody else has, just the mastermind people. And they are tried and true, tested to get you clicks. And all you need is my templates and then a free Canva account, which Canva is awesome. And you just drag and drop and you can change the colors and add your own photos and change the text. I do it on my phone. And my daughter, I set up a free Canva account for her and she makes them for me and with my templates. They're that easy. She's been doing it since she was 11. So I was telling Ashley earlier, I said, if my kid can do it, anybody can use it.
Then I don't have an excuse not to be making it work for me. Right.
Yeah. And so now I've got it all ready. You don't even have to think about colors because I've got the best colors in there. I mean, there are certain colors that really, really work to get those girls stopping. And that's what I use. I use all the best tricks. Okay. So you want Pinterest to work for you. All right. We want to work smarter, not harder. So 2 great ways to save time and let Pinterest work for you are to schedule pins natively on Pinterest. And then you can schedule pins with a third-party app. So we don't need to be on Pinterest every day. We don't need to be manually pinning if we don't have time, which manually pinning means I'm adding pins constantly manually. So here's how you can schedule on manually or natively on Pinterest. So you just upload your Pinterest graphic, and then here at the bottom, it will say publish at a later date. You know, instead of publishing immediately, you want to click the publish at a later date, pick a time, and hit publish, and it will schedule it for you. The only bad thing about scheduling on Pinterest is you can only do it up to 2 weeks in advance. So, you know, you'll have 2 weeks free where you can, you know, do all your other work, and then you'll have to schedule again on Pinterest. You know, you want to always have some things going out to stay active. So the algorithm knows this is an active user, this is an active creator, and this business account will get your pins will get pushed up higher in the search. So definitely want to utilize the scheduling tactic to save you time. And then once you have them scheduled, you will see them on your business account right there where it says created. You'll see your little scheduled pins, and you can click on them and make changes if you need to change the date or whatever you need to do. Okay, so that's where those will be. And then I like to use Tailwind. It's tailwindapp.com. You can schedule these up to forever in advance, and it's really awesome. So, but it's paid, you know, you have to pay for this, and it's a third party that they are a approved Pinterest partner. So they're amazing.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't do my job. I couldn't do this without Tailwind, because I like to schedule things pretty far in advance so I could just take time off, you know, from Pinterest, without just being on there doing fun things, you know. But I love Tailwind. So I wanted to tell you guys about that for sure. I know we're short on time, so I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, just to pop in, Sarah's asking if do you know if Tailwind does alt text, or if there are third party apps that do?
They don't have. That's the other thing. They just added alt text on Pinterest for, you know, the hearing impaired and vision impaired. So I don't think they have it yet. They're waiting on the API from Pinterest.
Gotcha.
They will get it. As soon as they can get it, they'll have it. But I don't think it's there right now. So but even on, so yeah, when you schedule your pin, like here, I was able to add, when I go back there, yeah, I can add the alt text on those. So that is
add it in for them native.
Yeah, that's the good thing about that. But
cool.
Okay. If you guys haven't done or heard of idea pins, it's kind of Pinterest's idea for stories. And you'll see them. There'll be little dots, little round circles on the top of your app. People are doing idea pins. So it's like a story on Instagram, or it's like a little TikTok. It's just, you can do video, you can do, they have little animated GIFs now. They've got music. And you can make an idea pin, which is basically a way to connect with your audience in a different way. There's no link out. This is just its own piece of content. Okay. So this is what an idea pin is. And if you've not tried it, this is the advantage for making idea pins. They are the newest feature that Pinterest has, and they are heavily, heavily promoting the idea pins. They want it to succeed. So if you do one, you're going to get huge reach, like crazy reach. I mean, it's not going to happen on every idea pin. It's, you know, you have to have a strategy and you have to figure it out. So look at some idea pins out there and see what other people are doing, and try it, because it will really help grow your following. And I'm going to show you what they do at the end. So here is, look at this. I've got almost 1 million impressions on this idea pin. And 17,000 pin clicks, over almost 4,000 saves. But at the end of the idea pin, they will promote your account and you know, tell people to follow you. So, you know, it will help grow your following, that's for sure. So I do like that about idea pins. And now you can actually, in the analytics, you can see, this is a new update they just made. You can actually see how many followers you got from that idea pin.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can see, like, is it worth it? Did this work? Or which one didn't work? Oh, I'll do more of those because I got more followers there. So they have really great metrics now.
And you have all the information. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to jump in because I know we have some folks who probably, you know, only had the hour scheduled, and you know, you have so much great information here.
Yeah.
But want to make sure that we let everybody know there is going to be a replay of this session available. So if you missed anything, any of Amy's great tips, you'll be able to catch it. The course link is pinned at the top of the comments. And I also just put it back into the comment flow again. So whatever is easiest for you. And Amy, why don't you give this crew a peek at this offer that you have?
Yeah, I've got $50 off my mastermind course just for you guys. Use the, I don't know if you already have the code in there, but if not, use the code Pinterest50. It ends soon. I think it's only lasting for a little bit. It's an amazing value. You're going to get 6 weeks of training, action plans, professional resources for professional Pinterest marketing. So you'll get that in the course. That's valued at $3,000. You'll get the mini course, 9 Steps to Pinterest Success. It will just kind of give you a jump start on how to start Pinterest if you've never done it. And even if you are a power pinner and you've used Pinterest for years, you're still going to learn some things in this 9 steps, I promise.
And then on top of all those trends.
Yeah. And I've also got 22 exclusive Pinterest templates for you to use with Canva. And so all of that is like over $3,000 and it's usually $447. And I'm giving you $50 off. Just take my money. Turn
it into your own, right?
Yeah, so go and get it. And I'm open for a Q&A. So
I would love that.
Join me in my class. And I update it as often as I can. You know, it's always changing. So.
And folks, just so everybody in the audience knows, you won't have to enter. If you click on the link that we've shared here on the YouTube stream, you won't need to enter a code. So it should just automatically be applied for you when you register.
Awesome.
We will send you a replay and also an email that's got the information from today's session in it as well. Please join me in thanking Amy for this incredible set of information. Would love to hear what tidbit you're most excited to have learned. I am thrilled to know that just to make that connection between, oh yeah, Pinterest and Google have some symbiosis. So it might, be even more worth it than I had realized to invest some time in building that Pinterest presence, right?
Right.
And feel free, as you're thanking Amy, lots of love coming at you, Amy, from our audience today. Let us know if you have any final questions. We can stick around for a moment, but would love to just let Amy know how grateful you are and how you're going to use this information, because that's going to be, that helps us both at Discover, and I know it will help Amy as well figure out how to make that content even more useful for audience in the future. Dr. Lynn, the rich pin information, that's really good to know. That's super helpful, all about the metadata and being able to maintain some autonomy over your descriptions. Terrific. Amy, any final tips or words of advice that you want to share with the audience?
Just get started. I think that it's a long game. I want to tell everybody that. And thank you so much for all of you guys sticking to the end. I know I could talk forever. And there's just so many things to learn.
There's a lot, yeah.
I mean, these are just really simple things that a lot of people already know, but there's so much more in my course. And then I'm happy. Anybody can reach out to me. And if you have more questions later, you can find me on Teachable and at Amy's Circle. And I think just get started and start playing around on Pinterest and seeing what's out there, seeing what other people are doing. What are your competitors doing? Are they even there? If not, you're gold, man. You're gold.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, it's such a good, it's so empowering to think about the fact that there is essentially just a space there for you to occupy, right? For you to give your audience.
To have you. I mean, they are really trying to grow, and it's a great place for beautiful things and also to help people. It's just, I'm always on there and I'm always finding great information. So it's just if you're not there, get on it. That's all I have to say.
Love it. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for your generosity. Click on that link. Looks like Jennifer's signing up right now. Lots of folks sharing the love. So thank you, Amy. If you could stick around for a moment while we wrap things up with the audience. It's been terrific to have everyone. And if you enjoy sessions like this, like and subscribe to the Discover page on YouTube, and you'll be notified when we have these terrifically knowledgeable experts like Amy who are willing to share their wisdom with us. So thanks, everyone. Take care and have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Ashley.